Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our virtual design public hearing for a proposed safety improvement at the intersection of Route 17, George Washington Memorial Highway, and Route 216, Guinea Road in Gloucester County. We appreciate your interest in this project. The presentation that you are about to see has been pre-recorded. Staff will be available after this presentation to answer any questions. Comments and questions may also be submitted after the hearing using one of the four methods that will be discussed during the presentation. Given the unique circumstances of the COVID-19 outbreak, along with our commitment to protecting public health during this time, VDOT is conducting this virtual design public hearing to avoid in-person contact. This presentation will cover the same information that Fredericksburg District staff would have shared during an in-person meeting. However, the comment process will be different. Details on how to submit your comments and have your questions addressed will be covered later in this presentation. All project information can be found on VDOT's website. This virtual design public hearing has been convened by the Virginia Department of Transportation and is being held to receive and consider comments for the Route 17 and Route 216 intersection project. You may have attended previous public hearings conducted by VDOT. However, for the benefit of those that have never attended one, I would like to explain why and how VDOT conducts a public hearing. A public hearing has four essential purposes. First, to inform the public on the status of the planning of the project and to present the recommendations based on the design to date. Second, to describe the project so that those attending can determine if the project will affect their lives and property. Third, to provide the public an opportunity to see information and express their views at this stage in the planning process before design decisions are finalized. And finally, this hearing is also used to develop a record of public views and participation to accompany recommendations for subsequent decisions. This virtual public hearing is being held in compliance with state laws. The transcript for this hearing will be made available for the official record. The department will proceed with the final documentation for the design approval process. Your statements and comments will be summarized in this document and will be given full consideration in the final recommendation of the design of the Route 17 and Route 216 intersection improvement project. Hello. My name is Catherine Coffey, and I am the Fredericksburg District Location and Design Engineer. The project team is made of members from a variety of disciplines. The key points of contact for the project are Bird Holloway, the project manager, and Joyce McGowan, the Saluda Residency Administrator. They are online with us to address questions. If there are questions that require the expertise of a specific team member, Bird will coordinate that answer. During the presentation, if you have any questions, they can be submitted through the chat box. After the presentation, we will stay online to answer as many questions as possible. If your question does not get answered due to time limitations, we will follow up promptly. Here is the agenda for the virtual design public hearing. We will review the public comment process. Then we will review the overall project. Next, we will discuss the right-of-way process and conclude with a discussion of the next steps. Comments will be accepted in a number of ways. You may leave a verbal comment by phone call at 540-374-3367. You may submit a written comment by email at fred.comments@vdot.virginia.gov or by mail at Virginia Department of Transportation, 87 Deacon Road, Fredericksburg, Virginia, 22405. Attention, Bird Holloway. Alternatively, submit a comment online in the chat below or on the project page on VDOT's website at www.virginiadot.org/Route 17 Gloucester. Comments must be received or postmarked no later than December 19, 2020, to be within the 10-day window after the virtual design public hearing to be considered part of the official public hearing record. Here is some information on the project background. The project is funded with federal dollars through the Highway Safety Improvement Program, or HSIP, which is intended to improve safety on public roads. An intersection analysis was completed in 2015 that provided recommended safety measures and improvements to reduce crashes and increase the functionality of the intersection. VDOT applied for funding through the HSIP program in 2016. The program scores applications based on a benefit-cost ratio, and this project was selected for funding. The primary purpose of the project is to improve safety. The project will also reduce congestion on Guinea Road by converting a lane used for both through movements and left turns onto Route 17 southbound into a dedicated through lane and add a dedicated left turn lane from Guinea Road onto 17 southbound. This map illustrates the location of the intersection improvement project. The improvements will focus on two parts: access management improvements along Route 17 south of the intersection, and repurposing the pavement on Route 216 east of the intersection to modify the lane configuration. We will start with the access management improvements. This slide shows the existing condition of Route 17 south of the intersection. Adding the location of the VDOT right-of-way, existing property boundaries, and easements helps to show impacts to individual properties. You can see that there are multiple points of access into and out of businesses and shopping centers in this area. Each point of access along a roadway represents a potential for conflicts between vehicles traveling along the roadway and those entering and exiting. Good access management practices look to consolidate points of access to reduce the number of potential conflict points and to provide adequate spacing between access points. In the review of this area, access into properties from Route 17 was prioritized over access out onto Route 17. Spacing between access points was also evaluated. Changes highlighted in orange are proposed for 3 access points. 2 existing right-in, right-out accesses on northbound Route 17 are to be converted to right-in only. There are additional access points on these sites that allow patrons exiting to easily navigate to an existing traffic signal to access Route 17 northbound or southbound. The right-in, right-out access on Route 17 southbound, shown to be closed, is redundant to the access at the existing traffic signal. Removal of this access provides a longer, uninterrupted right turn lane to the existing signal at the shopping center's main entrance. Temporary construction easements shown in yellow will be required on the 3 properties with access management modifications. When the project moves forward to the right-of-way phase, VDOT right-of-way staff will reach out to property owners regarding acquisitions of necessary easements. Next, we will review the intersection improvements. Improvements on Route 216, Guinea Road, will be constructed within the footprint of the existing roadway. The raised median dividing eastbound and westbound traffic will be reconstructed 1 lane to the south to provide 3 westbound lanes while maintaining 2 eastbound through lanes. This new configuration will still accommodate dual left turns from southbound Route 17 onto Guinea Road and will improve the efficiency of the intersection. I'll now provide you with information regarding the anticipated right-of-way for this project. At this time, only temporary construction easements have been identified as required for the project. Utility companies may require additional permanent easements for relocations, but that information is not available now. All right-of-way acquisitions will be completed in accordance with the Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970, as amended in 1987. The acquisition of necessary rights-of-way for this project will be handled by VDOT. All proposed acquisitions will follow federal and state laws and VDOT policies and procedures. The Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policy Act of 1970, known as the Uniform Act, is the federal law that is followed for appraisals, negotiations, and relocations of families and businesses. Each property will undergo a valuation process to determine the fair market value for each acquisition. During the negotiations, the landowner will receive a copy of the acquisition valuation, a title examination, a bona fide offer in writing for the acquisition along with all pertinent construction plan sheets. The VDOT negotiator will communicate with the landowner to ensure all questions, comments, and concerns are addressed. The project is currently fully funded for preliminary engineering, right-of-way and utility relocation, and construction. The total project estimate is a little under $1 million. To review some of the recent project events, in February of 2020, a design public hearing was held to gather public comment on the proposed design. A willingness to hold another public hearing was posted in July of 2020, and VDOT received a request for another public hearing. VDOT is now holding this virtual design public hearing, and comments received will supersede previous comments and efforts. Comments must be submitted and received no later than 10 days after this meeting to be considered in the design approval process. After comments are reviewed, a request for design approval shall be made to the District Project Development Engineer for approval. After receipt of approval, the right-of-way acquisition and final design processes will begin. The anticipated advertisement for construction date is late in 2022 or early in 2023. Let's review how you can submit your comments. Comments will be accepted in a number of ways. You may give us a call during this hearing at 866-692-4530. You may leave a verbal comment by phone call after this hearing at 540-374-3367. You may submit a written comment by email using fred.comments@vdot.virginia.gov or by mail at Virginia Department of Transportation, 87 Deacon Road, Fredericksburg, Virginia, 22405. Attention, Bird Holloway. Alternatively, online in the chat below or on the project page on VDOT's website at www.virginiadot.org/Route 17 Gloucester. Comments must be received or postmarked no later than December 19, 2020, to be within the 10-day window after the virtual design public hearing to be considered part of the official public hearing record. We encourage the public to stay informed. Project graphics in this presentation will be posted to our website at www.virginiadot.org/Route 17 Gloucester. Should you have any further questions, please feel free to contact the project manager, Bird Holloway, at the phone number listed. Thank you for watching and participating in this virtual design public hearing for the Safety Improvement Project at the intersection of Route 17 and Route 216. This concludes the virtual design public hearing presentation.